thank everybody for coming out today. We're extremely pleased to be taking some time to celebrate and honor Max for the time that he's spent guiding and leading Boys Republic for the last 45 years. We appreciate all of you taking the time out to come and join us to do that. And we're going to get started by having you go out and grab some food, and then shortly into that, our president of the board will take over and begin the program. So if we could, I'm going to start with his table, so he'll be ready to take the microphone right away while everybody's going. So if table 10 would get started in the food line, so I can direct you. There are two buffet tables. If I saw them correctly, we've got the sandwich table in the back and the pasta table outside the doors. So you're welcome to go to either one. So table 10, please get started. What we'll do after that is, if we could just go with rows. So the entire front row can immediately follow behind them. And as we see that they're making their way in, if we continue to work our way out, that would be great. I hope you enjoy the food, enjoy the day, and please make sure to take time to spend some time with Max and the family. Thank you.
And any executives from other youth organizations and business and community partners, and also any current and former Boys Republic staff, if they would all please stand up. Now that was supposed to take 5 minutes. We did it close, so we're all right. We'd like to call up the following that have presentations for Max. We'll call first of all the Mayor of Chino Hills, Bill Kruger. Then we're going to have John Watkins come up for Supervisor Mike Antonovich from the Los Angeles County. Then we'll have Carol Schroeder from the California Alliance for Children and Family Services. Then we'll have Carol Sanchez and Dave Mitchell for the LA County Probation, followed by Sue Ovett for Assembly Kurt Hagman's office. And then I haven't seen Larry, but he's supposed to come in, Larry Walker, for the San Bernardino County. We'll go from there. Thank you. Bill?
Thank you, Gary. Pleasure to be here today. And I haven't known Max for near the 45 years that he has been here, but for the last 10 or 12 years or so, I've known him very well. He's been a wonderful neighbor, and the organization has been a wonderful neighbor to the city. We've gotten along very well as good neighbors, and with that, I would like to present to Max Scott, the Republic Executive Director for the City of Chino Hills, on behalf of the City Council, one of our city tiles that we don't normally give out very often. So thank you all for being here. And Max, thank you for all your good work.
Thank you. I'm representing Mike Antonovich, who, by the way, really appreciates Boys Republic out here. Over the years, we've maybe had a plan go a little awry, or somebody cut off our money, or somebody did something, and all we'd have to do is call Mike Antonovich, and the next day some letter would come out, and before you know it, the whole thing got straightened out. So Mike's been very close to Boys Republic in supporting the things we do, and we have a resolution here from Mike and his group. I talked to Mike's office this week, and he just wanted me to give his personal special congratulations to Max for all the years that he's been here, and his appreciation for the work that staff and all you folks do at Boys Republic to turn these young people around and get them into becoming good citizens. So thank you very much for Mike.
Max is one of a group of pioneers in services to vulnerable kids and families. And it's really a great shame to see him retire. We're going to miss him greatly. A lot of times I end up having to say some words at folks' retirements, who are member agencies. And frequently something funny, so you pick out some little foible, some little eccentricity. And I started thinking about Max. I couldn't come up with one. And so I came out and I was talking to Lance, and Lance said, Max used to call us up at like 11 o'clock at night. You get this phone call, and he'd say, let's go play tennis. and he said it would be drizzling. I got to play tennis with Max. So Max, I just want to say that on behalf of the 120 member agencies, the California Alliance of Child and Family Services, we want to thank you for your humility, your integrity, your quiet authority, and your graciousness that has exemplified you as long as I've known you, 20 years or so. And we want to present this to you, which says, with respect and in recognition of Max Scott for his distinguished career, dedicated service to vulnerable youth, and embodying the values of Boys Republic, teenagers thrive on responsibility.
I brought up with me 2 generations of placement bureau chiefs. I'm Dave Mitchell. I'm the current bureau chief for placement services. And LA County Probation has always had a great partnership with Boys Republic, and that was because of Max Scott and his dedication to our youth. I was trying to do the math coming down here and thought about how many youth that from LA County went through Boys Republic in the last 20 years since I've been associated with the program, and I thought about maybe 5,000. Did the math, it's either their day treatment or their group home care, and just incredible. And what I like about Max is that his staff pursued his values and commitment to our kids. And when you send a kid to Boys Republic, we're going to be well taken care of, and we truly consider you a partner.
I was fortunate to become the bureau chief when placement was removed from under the juvenile services and made its own bureau. And I kind of got to that position kicking and screaming because throughout my whole probation career I had avoided this. But had I known all that time that there were people like Max and the staff around, I probably wouldn't have been kicking and screaming so much. Max, you made my job a lot easier. Your staff are wonderful. You're wonderful. And thank you so much for everything you've done for all you have.
And my name is Jane Martin, and I'm actually a 3rd generation of directors and bureau chiefs working with Max and Boys Republic. I would love to reminisce because we do really go back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I doubt you all would like to hear all that. But what I do want to say to you is that all of the boys and the families who have been here, who have been supported by your staff, by you personally, it's not just the boys whose lives you touched, their families, their children, their grandchildren. Your legacy does not stop, Max. It will go on and on. And I love you.
On behalf of Chief Levins and the LA County Probation Department, we want to present you with a gift certificate as you transition from your tennis game to your golf game. That's your sporting goods gift certificate, and thank you so much for all your work.
Good afternoon. My name is Sue Ovid, and I have the privilege of working with State Assemblyman Kurt Hagman, and it is indeed an honor to be here today. We have a resolution that has been prepared by the state of California, not only signed by the Assemblyman, but also by 2 senators, by Senator Bob Huff and Senator Gloria Negrete McLeod. as well as State Assemblywoman Norma Torres. So I will not read all the whereases. The day's far too, we want to make it a little bit shorter. But what it speaks to is the dedication and the service that Max is given to at-risk youth. And this is an element of our society that we need to pay particular attention to and to give them as much help as we can. So on behalf of the state of California, Max, we would like to present you with this joint resolution for your service and wish you much luck in retirement.
The greatest generation had settled down after winning the war, and the boomer generation had begun. Change was in the air from music, clothing, and hair to fundamentals like beliefs and attitudes.
I'm much too fast to take that test. Changes, the face is strange. Changes, don't wanna be a richer man. Changes, the face is strange. Changes, it's gonna have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't twist it.
Boys Republic was changing as well, as it witnessed its enrollment begin to change from mainly foster and orphan youth to boys with delinquent histories. However, because Boys Republic's guiding principles rested on a sound foundation of self-governance and a strong motto, nothing without labor, the organization and those responsible for running it were able to make a successful transition amidst the change. This time of change was when Frank Graves recruited a young graduate student from an experimental program using a new group treatment philosophy pioneered by Dr. Empey. Thus, in 1965, Max Scott began what has become the longest tenured employee at Boys Republic.
Boys Republic was founded in 1907 by a group of very energetic and public-minded people. And they looked nationwide for a program to bring for foster children here in California. And the interesting thing about it was that it was revolutionary philosophy back in 1907. And the revolutionary part of it was that it was the idea that adolescent-age kids could effectively and humanely govern themselves. And that was the thing that made me interested in Boys Republic. Things that I like about working with students is what they teach you. And they teach you and give you insight into things that you would never get from an adult. Every year that you spend involved with the adolescent age youth, you learn things about yourself that you didn't know before. Let me just give you one example. We had a staff member here who had a good relationship with kids, and he was on the grounds crew working with some of the kids down in the ball field. And this was on a Monday after a weekend pass, and the kids were all raking and working, and he jokingly said to the kid who had a huge monkey bite on his neck, he said, "Where did you get that? From your boyfriend or your girlfriend?" And the kid ignored him. The other kids snickered and thought it was funny. And the staff member, Joe was his name, he asked him that question. The second time, the kid didn't respond. And finally, the third time, the kid did respond. And he said, "Neither one, Joe. I got it from your wife." And the reason I would say that is because we've had a lot of Joes working in Boys Republic, and the Joe that said that is dead. Next to working with the students, the best part of this job is the staff. In fact, every success we have is the result of the staff and the commitment that they give to individual kids. It's amazing to me to watch the sacrifices they make on a daily basis, to be confronted, to be disappointed, to repeat over and over again outgoing positive behavior to kids when it doesn't appear to be well received. I think the world of our staff. It's a family as far as I'm concerned, and I don't want to see any of our staff leave. The tenure and the years of experience that they have gives them more maturity, more life experience, and more effectiveness in dealing with people. And I can't say enough good about our Bossier Public staff. There are a number of things that are enjoyable about this job, and some of the things that I will be forever grateful for is our board of directors, our auxiliaries, and our donors. In addition to that, I have to add the community support that we have from the politicians, the school district, the Old Council. All of those groups have been tremendously supportive of Bossier Public. We could never achieve what we have. We're the only agency I know in the state that has no community complaints against us, nor have we had for years. And I attribute that to our students behaving appropriately. The fact that we have 200 acres here makes a difference, because it gives us kind of a boundary and a border between us and the community. But we just have some very committed, dedicated people. Our board of directors particularly helped me when I was going through a difficult time legally with some false information that was distributed and published, and the board of directors stayed with me, and I will forever be indebted and grateful to them. They lifted a tremendous weight off my shoulders because of the support they gave me, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate and thank them. I'm holding here in my hands a paddle that was used many years ago in Bossier Public. You've heard the saying, spare the rod and spoil the child. Well, that was the philosophy from 1907 until probably the 60s. In fact, I've got some names on here of kids that received SWATs, the total number of SWATs from Frank Graves, the executive director before I came here. 16, 17, 20, a whole number of them. They were not all administered at one time. I might say this about it. There were no gangs at Bossier Public when this paddle was used. I don't know if there's a correlation with that or not, but that was the case. Okay, here's one that received 20 squats. Here's one that received 16. Here's one that received 20. He was later a staff member of Bossier Public and a coach. Here's one that received 16. And the king of them all, this one is Arden Miller. He received the most SWATs. He was here for over 3 years. He had 182 SWATs over that 3-year period. He incidentally later went into the service, and he was the man that organized the Boy Scouts of America, or the Boy Scouts in Japan. He's also was a member of our board of directors and passed away about a year and a half ago. Not from the SWATs, though. I don't know.
Gary Scott, Sterling's little brother and my Valerie's little brother. But I wanted to thank Jonathan Wright, the man behind the camera, and his students for helping put that together, as well as Todd Crump, a friend of mine. Now that was more about Max. This next video that we have, or DVD, is a little bit different. It's more about the organization. Like I said, I can't take credit for that video, but I can take credit for those secret personnel files I found of Jerry and the others. Jonathan didn't find those, and I had to dig those out. You know, this one, I know my dad was very sensitive about what we said on this, and so we were careful. But this next video isn't so much about Max as it is about Bossier Public. And under his direction and his leadership as director for 35 years, he's always very careful to make sure that all the staff, and they are the ones, and everyone in this room, as well as many others that haven't been here or that aren't here now or have been passed along, they're responsible for the success of Bossier Public. So I had to tweak this, or I had to tweak that one a little bit, as well as thank Lorraine for her support, my mom and her mother for all of her support. The debut of this DVD, this other one that you see on your tables, is from John and Vanette Clemens. They're here today with us. It's their donation to Bossier Public as well. A lot of work went into this, and we would like to give that to you, obviously, as a gift to go with you. For the constraints of time, we will not play this whole DVD. We'll play part of it, and then keep our, just like don't want to get in trouble with the board president, we want to stay within our 15 minutes. So we'll go ahead and turn that on and then go on from there.
Individual accountability, educational competence, self-reliance, and self-control. To more than 600 disadvantaged and troubled teenagers each year, these are the promises of Boys Republic, one of the nation's oldest and most emulated youth care agencies. Since its founding in 1907, Boys Republic has stood by these promises and the distinctive treatment philosophy that embodies them. Troubled teenagers, the survivors of childhood abuses, neglect, or abandonment, were given a second chance, a program of self-government, meaningful work and education, so they could earn their way to a better life.
We're unique in so many ways, but perhaps the single most important is that we view adolescent-aged youngsters being able to control and govern themselves in a humane way.
What was so compelling about the program was that it really worked. Children who arrived apparently destined to live lives of impoverishment, social dependence, or even incarceration, instead graduated back into society with the attitude and skills necessary to become self-reliant, contributing citizens.
When I say Boys Republic is like Camelot, it's an artificial community because it's nothing like they'll ever live in again. It's the safest environment they'll ever live in. While they're here, it's a life experience that's unlike any that they have ever had before or probably ever will again.